Okay, it's a little close, but my goal is to hold the camera as steadily as possible. So, hope you can tolerate my face being so close to the camera. But I have been asked to kind of paraphrase my most current position. I guess just to basically summarize what my experiences are. Relating to twin flame situations, but I always liken it to myself, or for myself, to how things are for me on the astral plane or 5D, chakras, Kundalini experiences, meditational experiences, astral experiences, lucid dream experiences. Maybe they're all different things, but for the most part, when the energy, the experiences, basically when the frequency is high, you'll notice that you have like the most enriched experience with your twin. And I think all experiences with my twin are rich. I thank God every day for us and just knowing that they exist. And I'm really, truly thankful for that. So, but sometimes, especially lately, I've noticed that some of my meditational experiences, and I'm not quite sure if that's the right wording for that, but it's about as good as I can do right now. So notice that some of them have been getting really deep and very profound, and that's really exciting. But what it's led me to learn is that in 3D, the things that happen, even things that seem very minor, still reflect your twin and your experiences together and yourself in the opposite way. I recently asked people in my group, and by I mean an online twin flame community group that I consider a kind of home. And I was curious to see what people thought about tarot cards and things like that. And one of the things was, it's like a reflection of what's in your head or your experience. And I don't practice tarot readings, or I don't accept them too much, but the wording of that felt familiar. And by familiar, I mean with that wording, it painted the landscape for what I was experiencing, at least partially. What I've been experiencing is, in all things, experiencing a reflection of us, and I can dissect it to things that seem like they're more them, but also seeing the way that it is very me, and then that just shows the harmony between us. And it is something that has been happening more consistently. At least maybe I've been more aware of it. I don't know. And it's really exciting because it makes you feel like you're at the very edge. Sometimes you can feel like you're experienced or you're pretty far down the path or the rabbit hole, but then you get gently tapped into realizing this is way bigger than you think that you are, which is nice. It's pretty exciting. I remember when I was first transitioning or first awakening, and I just felt like so much had happened. And that was 2 years ago. And it's only continued to increase and go on. So now, like, being humble and thankful are integral things to be integral. Trust me. And I thank God for my twin every single day. Like, yeah, I'll tear up a little bit, so I'm gonna pull back the reins. Yeah. So, but I've really been noticing how strongly nature has been playing a chorus. In the beginning, I saw the way that weather would be affected and how weather patterns, worked in tandem with our experiences. Because at the time it was more of an I thing. Now it's we, and it's been that way for a little bit, but as time has progressed and gone on, I've noticed how all the details play a part. And from really early childhood, I've been close with nature, or maybe nature has been close with me. I don't know, but we've really loved each other from the beginning. And by nature, I mean wildlife. I think to me, I'm partial to wildlife. I want to say especially, but I don't want to put a hierarchy to things because I want to maintain a high level of respect for it all, for the entire scope. But weather and plant life, all the way to cosmic regions, there's just something there. And I've noticed that it plays a part, and some will touch on astrology or the seasons shifting, moon phases. That's pretty much what I'm talking about, but maybe just a little bit more down to earth sometimes, like bird callings, like timings of things like that. And it's different for each person because the way that your mind perceives things is how you receive them, like brain patterns and ways that you've thought. And sometimes these ways that you've thought have been serving you, and other times they haven't. And I think that's where the purging and cleansing and grounding and cutting of cords and changing perspectives and growing, becoming more positive, thankful, ultimately more righteous, but not like in a holier than thou kind of sense. Just doesn't even matter. It's just, I think, a matter of gratitude. But those brain patterns reflect how you receive, and then that reflection, and I learned this along the way, and I'm thankful for it, but it's like how those perceptions are what you reflect to your twin, which ultimately what gets transmitted or reflected back to you. And then that is like a game of like ping pong, and it helps when like the positivity kind of overrides assumptions or jealousy, feelings of insignificance, putting to you how you feel, applying what you feel for your twin towards how you can feel for yourself, and knowing that that's how they feel about you. It's like a form of unconditional love. I hope I'm making sense here, because it's all so hodgepodge, but beautiful. But all these ingredients, like everyone has their cooking style and how much of us, of how much salt they like, how much meat or vegetables, or which meat or which vegetables, or which, and so these different degrees are how these different degrees apply to people in general. So, but basically, in a nutshell, how what you have to give is what your twin also has to give you, or has for you to give. I don't know how to phrase that, but if you're having insecurities, which I do, because of amazingness that seems mentally staggering, you can apply that to yourself, which I've found also helps. So this video has been fun and interesting and all over the place, kind of my style. So, but I hope that it helps, and I'll see you guys again soon.